Welcome back to Totally Unbiased. We're back again for another video, and of course, I'm here with only one of my partners today, once again, as you might have saw if you watched Big Blue Preview. Andrew, how are we doing today, Andrew?
What's going on, you guys? Real quick, as usual, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our socials. So on TikTok and Instagram, you could follow us at Totally Unbiased. Twitter, you could follow us at YT_unbiased. And then on this video you're watching right here on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, like the video, interact with us. We're looking forward to bringing you guys some daily content. And then I'm going to get started right away with our first game of the week, the Thursday night at 8:30. You got the Washington football team and the New York Giants. Giants are heading down to them for their second matchup, looking to get a win. I picked in our Big Blue preview video, I have Washington winning, and I'll let Nick get a chance to give his pick in there. But if you guys want a more in-depth review of that game, please go check out our other video for that.
Yeah, go check out that video. Me and Andrew, I gotta say, I think we did a great job in that video. But yeah, that one, I picked the Giants. As Andrew said, he picked the Washington football team. We're not going to go too much into depth on this one. As I said, we did it in another video.
All right, and then for the Sunday 1 o'clock games that are previewing on Fox, we have the Saints at the Panthers, the Bengals at the Bears, Rams at the Colts. And then we also have the Bills at the Dolphins and the 49ers at the Eagles. And obviously, we're going to start off with this Saints at Panthers game. And Nick, what's your thoughts on this game?
So my thoughts on this game is actually, believe it or not, I think the Panthers do have a fair fighting chance in this game. Saints were great week one. Obviously, they're due for a little bit of a regression. They just beat the defending NFC North champion Packers, who didn't really show up. I feel like the Saints still are playing with a lot of emotion due to the fact that they couldn't be home last week. I'm going to pick the Saints, but the Panthers have a real fighting chance. This game should be a close one.
Yeah, I definitely believe the Panthers have a fighting chance. Sam Darnold did look pretty good in his week one performance. He hooked up with Robbie Anderson for a good score. They definitely have a connection. You obviously have Christian McCaffrey on that team, so you know they're going to be able to run the ball almost no matter what the case is, no matter what defense they go up against. And with this one, I do have a similar opinion. I'm going to go with the Saints too, because I definitely believe not playing at home. They got a lot of emotion playing for their hometown after that hurricane. They still just have that kind of like Hurricane Katrina-esque chip on their shoulder, a lot of devastation going on at home for them, and they definitely got something to fight for. And then next, we got the Bengals at the Bears. And last week, the Bengals, they put up a pretty good game. The Bengals overperformed what I thought they would, and the Vikings underperformed what I thought they would. And for this game, I mean, the Bears, when they played the Rams, I'm surprised David Montgomery had as much of a running game as he did against that pretty fantastic Rams defense, that I would call it. I have seen that defense play at elite levels, and I'm surprised that offense really got moving as much as they did. I'm going to give this one to the Bengals. I am seeing that they have a lot of potential, a lot more than we thought. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase still have that college connection. Joe Mixon looked good, and they still got guys like T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd that he could get the ball out to. If that defense could keep something together, hold the Bears back, I definitely think they come out with a win this week.
Yeah, I think Andy Dalton does the Bengals his final favor and gives them another win. I think he plays terrible in this game. Personally, obviously, I'm hoping the Bears go 0-17, but the Bears don't really have much to offer. Outside of David Montgomery, they're not really doing much on offense. I do expect, however, Allen Robinson to have a big game. Now, last week, he was shadowed a little bit by Ramsey. Ramsey played the star position. If you guys don't know, I'll get more into the star position when we get back down to the Rams. But there was kind of tough sledding for that Bears offense. They moved the ball, but they struggled through the air, which is naturally what people do against the Rams. The Bengals, like you said, had a great week last week. I think the Bengals are going to take this one, and I think Andy Dalton's finally going to give the Bengals a nice win.
Yeah, definitely. And then the next game we got coming up is the Rams at the Colts. And what's your thoughts on this one? Because I know you got more to say about the Rams.
Yeah, so the Rams, last week, Jalen Ramsey was used in the star position. Star position is more of a defensive, you're used as a defensive back, but you're also used as a linebacker and a safety all at the same time in different ways. And that star position is something Ramsey really excelled at. He's the most physical cornerback in the NFL, one of the most physical DBs, and he's fantastic. He really is. And And the problem is with the Rams, they will allow rushing yards openly. They're okay with you attacking them during the rushing game, but you need to beat the Rams consistently through the air to beat them. Will the Colts do that? I don't think so. However, this game is going to be close in my opinion because I think the Colts are going to be able to run the ball and try to keep Stafford off the field. And the Colts defense wasn't great last week. Their corners were pretty bad. Stafford's got a loaded receiver room. Woods, Van Jefferson, obviously Cooper Kupp, and they have I almost said Tyler Heifert, Tyler Higbee again having a great year because Stafford loves his tight ends. I'm gonna take the Rams in this one, but this one should be close. I really do think it'll be close.
I definitely think this will be a close game. For the Colts, it's kind of looking like they're going to have a repeat of week one. I mean, Seattle was able to air out the ball against them with Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. And I believe having Matt Stafford on this team with, like you said, the wide receiver room that they have, I really do think they could air out the ball again. So I think the Colts are going to try and throw the ball. They're not going to be able to the same level as them. They're definitely going to have to outperform in the run game. And I believe if they do so, that they could definitely come away with a win. So I'm going to go with the Colts here for this one. And then next, we have the Bills going down to Miami to play the Dolphins. And for this game, I definitely think the Bills are coming out here. It's a division rival. They are mad. They lost a game at home to the Steelers. Great defensive matchup. They're going down there to plain and simple kick ass. They are out for it. They want a win. And I think Stephon Diggs has got to get more active in this game than he was last week. He's got to get some scoring going. And they're not going up against as tough of a defense. So I definitely think as a whole that Bills offense can definitely move more. And it's going to be interesting to see how that Bills defense stops the Dolphins because for week one, when they played New England, the Dolphins had their own little defensive matchup.
What if I told you? What if I told you that by week 2 of the NFL season, Josh Allen was 0-2? What if I told you that? And I think it's going to happen. And I'll tell you why.
I'd say they're off to a bad start and they're going to come back anyway.
Yeah, well, listen, I'll tell you why. First of all, Miami in that stadium is a very tough place to play. As you may or may not know, Tom Brady over the years has had trouble down there, and Miami's a tough place to play. It really gets hot. It's that stadium there's not a lot of fans, but they get loud, they get excited, and I think the Dolphins are going to start off 2-0. I think last year the Dolphins are pretty pissed off that they went 10-6 and missed the playoffs because the Bills kicked the snot out of them week 17. I think Tua Tagovailoa is going to have a revenge game. He's going to play some good football. He's going to protect the football, and they're going to run the ball. I really do believe the Dolphins have a good chance of winning this game. If they keep the Bills under 24 points, they will win this game. If they go over 24, they will lose this game. I will not be shocked at all if the Dolphins win this game. And they are my pick.
All right, fair point. And then the next game we got going, the last one for the 1 o'clock games on Fox, we got the 49ers at the Eagles. And what do you got for this one, Nick?
This one is easy for me. I'm going to take the Niners. Outside of some late game shenanigans, the Niners absolutely dominated the Lions. I mean, when you look at the stat sheet, it doesn't say that they did. That game, they were... I think they were down by like 22 with like 5 minutes left. The game was pretty much over. Yeah. Although the 49ers have to lock down at the end of that game. Really, they almost lost that game. On the other hand, the Eagles, they had a great week 1, but the Falcons actually might be the most horrid team in the NFL. They may get the first overall pick. And not for nothing, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm concerned for Kyle Pitts. I'm concerned for Calvin Ridley. And, when it comes to, I know a lot of people are interested in fantasy football, but when it comes down to it, that Falcons offense and the team is just so putrid that they made the Eagles look fantastic. Now, the Eagles offensive line played great football against a really bad Falcons defensive line, and vice versa on defense as well. However, the 49ers are a different beast. They have McGlinchey on the offensive side anchoring the offensive line. They have Trent Williams on the left tackle spot. And then you flip sides of the ball, Bosa's back, right? Armstead's there. They have guys. So I really don't think this game is going to reflect at all the Eagle performance we saw week 1. I really think the 49ers could pull away with a big victory here.
I mean, I do agree. I definitely believe that the 49ers they looked like the better team week one in their matchup against the Lions, and the Eagles, I personally also believe, played a bad team that made them look good. But then also, I don't think the Eagles, I mean, are going to get off to a slow start against the 49ers. 49ers definitely had the momentum in their favor for most of that game, and that kind of pumped them up a little bit too. But if they get into a shootout, I don't know how they're really going to play. You got to see how that running game is going to look without Raheem Mostert. You don't know if they're starting Elijah Mitchell, the guy who played almost all the snaps after Mostert came out of the game. Are they going to start their rookie Trey Sermon that they traded up to get? And they also got other guys in that backfield that they could probably plug and play, because I believe in that 49ers offense, they can just plug in whoever they want and they'll have success there. But I guess I got no faith in my Giants. I mean, like I said, I picked Washington, and I'm going with another NFC East team. I got the Eagles beating the 49ers.
Wow, you really have the Giants getting buried this week. All right, so let's move on to more 1 o'clock games on CBS. We got the Texans visiting the Browns. I think the Browns are going to win this game pretty comfortably. The Browns, they hung with the best team in the league. Well, the best team in the AFC last week. They hung with them, and they should have won that game. And I think they're pissed off, and the Texans are really no competition. This is a Browns win.
Yeah, this is actually my lock of the week. I got the orange. Oh, wrong side. I got my orange lights on for the Browns. I mean, the Texans definitely came to play week one. It definitely surprised us all, but we saw how the Browns played against the Chiefs. They played a very competitive game, and when it comes to the Texans, I really don't think they have the weapons to combat what the Browns are going to be throwing at them between Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Jarvis Landry, David Njoku. They're without Odell Beckham this week, but I still think they definitely got. And then on the defensive side of the ball, especially a guy like Myles Garrett, he's going to be a tough opponent for that Houston line, who, when Deshaun Watson was playing, was always known to have him scrambling, running for help.
Running for his life, pretty much. So let's get into the next one. We got the Broncos visiting the Jaguars. The Broncos are without last year's first-round pick, Jerry Jeudy. And last week the Broncos looked good. They beat down on last year was a good Giants defense. They long sustained drives. The defense was strong. Bradley Chubb is looking to return in this one. I'm taking the Broncos. The Jaguars looked horrid week one. Lawrence looked uneven. He showed some elite upside, and then some interceptions that you just don't really see. You wouldn't expect from him, because he has these lofty expectations, but it happens. He's a rookie, and he's going to play like a rookie against a very talented Broncos defense.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping to see a little more of a connection build between him and rookie wide receiver Laviska Shenault. I definitely think there's a lot of chemistry there that can be made. So having Laviska Shenault on one side of the ball, or the other one side of the field rather, and then having DJ Chark on the other, I really think this offense can perform well. And I don't know if you could confirm this for me. I haven't really looked into it. Is Chubb still out for the Broncos going into this week?
He is questionable, but I believe he's projected to play. And,
projected to play, yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, definitely going up against a full defense. They're going to have Chubb now. I mean, it'll have some impact, not a absolute game-changing impact, but, I mean, I definitely could see the Broncos coming out with a win, because they did start off pretty nice. And that offense with now Teddy Bridgewater under center, it looks like they got their quarterback.
Yeah, it looks like they do have their quarterback. You're right about that. And, they have a lot of weapons, the Jaguars. I mean, Shenault's in his second year. They signed as a free agent Marvin Jones, who played good ball last week. And, JJ Chark is a few years removed from an almost 1,000-yard season. So they definitely have some weapons. I wonder what James Robinson's outlook will be. I don't expect it to be good. It's against the Broncos, and he was bad last week, so I guess we'll see. But let's move on to the next teams. And I'm going to get your opinion first on this one. Patriots visiting the New York Jets.
For this game, it's kind of a toss-up for me. I mean, both of these teams really didn't have a high-scoring matchup. We saw that they do have potential on offense with both of their rookie quarterbacks, but I think that Patriots defense, if they can lock down guys like Corey Davis on that team, on the Jets, I see them coming away with a win. But then on the other end of the spectrum, if they can't hold him and Corey Davis goes nuts, I see the Jets coming out with a win, and I'm going to go with the Jets because I just believe after being beat down for years by Tom Brady, that organization as a whole is really just coming for blood against that team.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree. Bill Belichick doesn't like losing to the Jets ever, and he took Tom Brady's reincarnate in order to continue that. But in actuality, the Jets did look pretty good in Week 1. I definitely think Zach Wilson is more talented than Mac Jones. I don't even think that's debatable. However, Mac Jones looks more poised, pocket present, and understanding of a pro style game. Wilson will be good in time. I think Mac Jones is more ready now. And I also think that steady running attack is something the Jets won't be able to combat because Week 1, Christian McCaffrey had almost 200 scrimmage yards against them. I know it's Christian McCaffrey. Don't get me wrong. But they have guys who do things great. Damian Harris is a good running back. They have Stevenson to back him up, and James White is one of the best pass-catching backs in the entire league. I think they'll be able to run the ball. The running backs will get involved. And believe it or not, the Jets' corners played pretty good last week against Robbie Anderson, but DJ Moore had a good game. So don't be shocked if Aguilar or Jacoby Myers has a big game. And tight end wise, if they can get Henry or Jonnu Smith open up the middle, the Jets can have some trouble here.
Yeah, and one thing I definitely want to bring out there real quick, one thing I think the Jets need to do, I like that they have Tevin Coleman, but you got to get your rookie on the field a little more. I want to see Carter get some more snaps at running back. I definitely
that running game was dead last week.
I definitely think that they drafted him for a reason. He played well in preseason. Let him get out there. There's no reason to have Tevin Coleman be your one and only back. Nothing against him, but you could definitely split the workload.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a committee going, but Coleman doesn't have the juice that he used to, and there's nothing wrong with him. They need to get the run game going. They didn't get it going at all last week. It looked bad. They were bullied by the backers of the Panthers. But let's keep going. Raiders at the Steelers. This game is drawing a lot of eyes and ears, because people really aren't sure what to expect. I personally expect the Steelers to win, and I wanted to say the Raiders, but then I look at it, and the Steelers do the best. The Steelers are a top team at doing the one thing that you don't want them to do to you. They take away your number one weapon. They will take away Darren Waller. What are the Raiders after Darren Waller is taken away? I don't know, because he put up most of the big yards, the big first downs, and all the stuff on their drives for them. And outside of a couple rushes from Josh Jacobs that ended up in the end zone, he was subpar. Kenny Drake was okay through the passing game. Brian Edwards didn't show up to the fourth quarter. Henry Ruggs was a ghost again. I mean, the Raiders played. Baltimore's defense looked horrendous, and we're not really going to get into that right now. I just don't see a way that the Raiders overcome this Steelers suffocating defense, because they do have Minkah Fitzpatrick, and he's able to lock down tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that this game is pretty simple for me. The Steelers, that they are my pick for this game. That defense is going to hold the Raiders because, like you said, they're going to take away their number one target unless someone, after they lock down Waller, if Ruggs or somebody comes out to shine and makes it an issue where they need to cover two guys who could potentially have a great game. But then also the TikTok boys, they're going to be scoring all over them.
Yeah, their defensive backfield is porous. But let's move on to the Sunday 4 o'clock games on Fox. We got 2 of them. We're going to start with I'm going to start with the one that's a little less entertaining because we kind of know the outcome. The Falcons are going down to Tampa to visit the Buccaneers. Oh, boy. Andrew, what do you got for me?
This ain't the fantasy show, but you have anyone playing for Tampa, start them. Antonio Brown, Godwin, Evans, Fournette, Gronkowski, Tom Brady, all of them, start them. That if an Eagles team that I'm not really fully believed in can put up points against the Falcons like that and hold them to 6 points. I mean, even the Tampa defense, if you're that lucky person this week that's got Tampa defense, anyone from Tampa is going to ball out this week. If the Falcons repeat what they did last week, it's going to be an absolute beatdown.
It was embarrassing. Like, the Falcons absolute embarrassing. 6 points at home against an Eagles team that's projected to become the third or fourth to last team in the NFC. That's terrible. Yeah, the Falcons are going to get bullied in this game. We're obviously both going to take the Bucs. I just want to say, like I said earlier, I'm getting concerned about that offense. But we talk back fantasy wise, Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts might be in a really tough situation. If that offense is really bad, might want to get rid of them. You might want to try to get what you can for them. But let's jump to the other game because that game is not entertaining. This one should be.
Who has
This one
Calvin
should be
Ridley?
entertaining. We have the Vikings going into Arizona to play the Cardinals, who beat the ever-living snot out of the Titans last week. Andrew, what do you got?
I think the Vikings are definitely going to play better. They definitely underperformed in their week 1 performance. I believe Dalvin Cook is, not going to have a turnover. Well, let's not even really fully get into that. Last week's turnover.
You're going to make me angry. I'm going to get angry.
Yeah, no, I know you. I mean, trust me, I have him too. It pissed me off. I don't believe it was a fumble. I don't believe he'll have any BS call that'll put a fumble on his stat sheet for week 2. I believe he'll play better. And I believe the Vikings as a whole are going to play better, but I still don't believe that they could really come out with a win. That Cardinals are looking like a great team on both sides of the ball. I mean, Chandler Jones coming out with 5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles on Tannehill. D-Hop look amazing. Kyler Murray
could have a torn ACL, might I say.
Yeah, from an injury like that too. And Kyler Murray running around in that backfield waiting to make a play. He's running around like a little mouse. You can't catch him. You can't. There was one play I saw from a highlight video. He comes across the field to the right, comes back across to the left, steps up, steps back. One Tennessee lineman just comes flying in front of him, and then he makes like a 40-yard pass. He's like a little mouse.
He's ridiculous.
Back there. You can't catch him.
He's like Sonic the Hedgehog back there. That's what he looks like. He's like Sonic the Hedgehog, flying around. I'm going to take the underdog in this one. I'm taking the Vikings. I think the Vikings are pissed from last week. They shouldn't have lost. They played poorly. And this is the kind of game where the Vikings are able to put up some points. I think the Vikings offense is much better than it showed last week. I think they're going to get Jefferson going. They're going to get Cook going because both of them played good, but they didn't get them going. Kirk was bad last week. I expect him to be better. The Cardinals defense showed up last week because of the pass rush, and Taylor Lewan had the worst game of his career. 5 sacks were all on Taylor Lewan, which you'll never see again from him. I also think they'll be able to, because Dalvin Cook can pass block. He can. I think they'll be able to scheme up a little bit of things where they'll be chipping. They have the tight ends for it. They'll be chipping away at Jones and Watt all game. I feel like they have a chance to win this game. I'm going to take the underdog, and I'm going to take the Vikings.
All right. And then for our Sunday matchups at 4:25, premiering on CBS, the first game we got is the Cowboys at the Chargers. And Nick, what do you got for this one?
So this game actually...
Sorry.
You good? You good? All right. This game, actually, believe it or not, I have the Chargers beating the Cowboys. Like, I might even say, oh, yeah, believe it or not, you're a Giants fan. But I have them beating them by 14 or more. I have this final score at 31-17. And I'll tell you why. The Chargers defense looked really good last week. Derwin James is finally back. He looks healthy. The corners over there are ridiculous. Chris Harris Jr. is still Chris Harris Jr. The pass rush, Joey Bosa. They looked really good. And I think Dallas is going to have a little bit of a tough time moving the ball on them. I really do. I still see Prescott putting up a decent amount of yards, but I think the Cowboys are going to drive and then get stopped. Chargers defense is a lot of bend, not break. I think it's a 2-possession game. My prediction is 31-17. However, I could see this being 28-21, 34-37. Like, this game there's going to be points scored. So, I'm not sure what the over is. Might want to take it. Justin Herbert should shred the Cowboys. And I'm predicting big games for Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Austin Eckler. I feel like this will be his biggest game of the season, actually, believe it or not. I think Austin Eckler will catch 9+ passes and have over 170 scrimmage yards in this game.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Chargers. It's the one NFC East team besides the Giants that I also think is going to lose this week. As far as that defense goes, you got a lot of weapons on that Dallas offense. So I believe that the Chargers defense can hold them in some capacity, but they are going to be looking more at the wide receivers. They're not really going to be focused on Zeke if he keeps performing the way he did in week 1. They are going to be a little more worried about Pollard because he played a better game week 1 than Zeke did. But someone to look out for, unpopular opinion, my saving grace last year in fantasy, look for Dalton Schultz, a little bit of an underdog over the middle of the field if you got to cover guys like CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper out wide.
Yeah, the Bucs struggled a little bit against Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz. So there is the Cowboys schemed up a little bit of a little package for them. So I actually think that's a pretty good observation.
Yeah, and then for the final game of the Sunday at 4:30, you have the Titans at the Seahawks, and for this game, I'm going to go with the Titans. I believe a little bit earlier than I would expect that A.J. Brown has a good game. His connection that he has with Tannehill pops off. And I believe that he's also going to gain more of a connection with Julio. And we're also going to see Derrick Henry definitely play a little bit better. I definitely think as a whole that Tennessee does have a chip on their shoulder from the beat down that they took. And I think the Seahawks will keep it competitive because they also have their two great guys in Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. But I don't see them having much of a run game against the Titans. So I'm going with Tennessee in this one.
I was hoping we would disagree about this game, but we don't. I'm also going to go with the Titans. I think they're going to be pissed. And I have a really bold take. I think there's going to be 3 or more wide receivers with 100-yard games in this game. 3 or more.
A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking Julio Jones, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown. I think Julio might show
so you
up.
Don't so you don't think Tyler Lockett performs as he did week 1? You think he does his usual up and down in?
Yeah, I mean, until he shows that he's going to be consistent, I won't think he is. He only had 4 catches, and 2 of them were for scores that are big plays. But no, either way, I think this game's going to be a shootout. I'm predicting like a 31-28. I think a field goal is going to go between them. And I think a big part about this game is going to be at the end of the game, the Titans able to run the ball better than the Seahawks. Derrick Henry will be able to run out that clock towards the end of the game. There's going to be a lot of big plays in this game, I think, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then I believe between you and me, this is the confrontational game of the week, the Sunday 8:20 on NBC, the Chiefs at the Ravens. And I want to hear what you got for this game because I think we're going to be complete opposites here.
Really? Because I feel like we're going to be the same. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Okay. All right.
I'm taking the Chiefs, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. There's a reason. Did you see what the Ravens did with Darren Waller last week? They did nothing. Nothing. They didn't cover him at all. He was wide open. He was running there naked around the sidelines.
And you're putting Travis Kelce in that position.
Entire secondary. So for me, Kelce is going to be fantastic, and they're not going to be able to cover Hill. And the sneaky touchdown I have in this game, Mecole Hardman has 2 touchdowns in this game, I think. I think he's going to be that guy who comes out of nowhere a little bit. He's going to score a couple of scores. I really don't think the Ravens have the juice. I don't know. They blew the game last week, and Lamar, without a threat of a run game, Lamar is great. He is a great quarterback. And without them being able to control the clock like they usually do with those big running backs, I don't see how they win this game.
Yeah, no, so we definitely don't have different opinions. I mean, I've said it since Mahomes was drafted into the league because I used to watch him play college football at Texas Tech. Whenever the Giants suck, I'm all in on the Chiefs. And it's been like that for basically the last 6 years because that's how long they've been absolutely.
It's fair. He's not a bandwagon. It is fair. I was there for that.
I mean, I've watched Mahomes longer than he's even been in the NFL. And I like this team as a whole. Like you said, with the Ravens not covering Darren Waller, Travis Kelce is going to boom. And I like the hot take with Hardman having 2 touchdowns. I think it's a little too much, though. I think he will have a touchdown because I think Hill's still going to get open. They don't have Marcus Peters. They're already down 1 corner for the season. And I really just think this whole offense as a whole, if anything, my bold prediction here is Clyde Edwards-Helaire for about 125 plus rushing yards.
That's an interesting one. There's nothing wrong with that. He didn't have the best game last week, really. He's kind of, you know what I mean? But that's not a bad prediction.
I'm basing that more off the assumption that the Chiefs take an early lead and they start rushing the ball. Because if it's a back and forth shootout, I don't see him having more than like 55, 60 yards. I'm basing this on the Chiefs getting out to a hot start and then just doing time management and letting him beat down on the field.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? To me, Like the Chiefs could just be down at any point and they'll go roaring back
Come
at
back.
any time.
Go
It's
come back.
unbelievable. Like it's unbelievable.
Imagine
But
if the Giants did that.
the final game we're gonna pick Monday night. Usually we pick this on totally overreacting, but I want to kind of get this going now. This isn't really that big of a game. The Lions are traveling to Green Bay against the Packers. The Packers are going to win by many points. They're pissed. They sucked last week, and they will not suck again.
Did I hear that right?
I think you did.
Packers.
Packers. We're taking the Packers.
I'm not. I'm taking the Lions here. They were down.
All right. They were a big upset pick over here.
They were down by a significant amount of points against San Francisco. And at one point, I mean, I happened to be watching a video this morning. It was Lions coach mic'd up. And
Dan Campbell? Oh, I'd run through a wall for Dan Campbell.
Exactly. The way he was talking and the way he got them fired up. I was laying in bed and I was like, I got to go do something. I got to go like lift a house right now. Like I had all this energy because he just has such conviction in his voice. And they almost had it. They were a touchdown away from having that. They came away with an onside kick and they came away with a takeaway in the final 2 minutes of that game. And if they could have got the ball moving a little better, I really do believe that they would have won that game if it had to go into overtime. They had the momentum on their side. And
they were a classic Jared Goff pick six away from winning this game. Classic Jared Goff. Throws into triple coverage just because he felt like it.
And then the Packers, I believe they got beat down, and I still believe that Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be there, and he wants to get the hell out. He wants to be traded before the end of this year. He doesn't even want to wait till next offseason. That's what I think is going on in his head. I mean, unless he proves me wrong and he has a good game this week, he wants to get out of Green Bay before the season is over.
Interesting take. I don't disagree the way they played last week, But hey, listen, it's sometimes it's nice to have differing opinions because we can see who's smarter in the end.
No, I know I was wrong with a lot of the week one matchups, but I mean, a lot of them definitely were. I mean, I went with the more favorable team in my opinion, and there was a decent amount of upset. I mean, the Bengals I would definitely consider an upset. I believe most people would have picked the Vikings.
Yeah, you did talk up the Bengals a lot, like I talked up the Saints. And we all got our picks here and there. Yeah, but that's it for who wins, who loses. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, follow all of our socials. Of course, Andrew's going to mention the socials again because that's what he does. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Twitter. Hit the sub button. Click the little bell. You're going to know when we post videos.
Yep. So TikTok and Instagram, totally unbiased. Twitter, YT_unbiased. And then on this video right here. Click that bell for notifications, like the video, subscribe to our channel. We're posting daily content on all of our platforms. And thank you guys for this episode of Who Wins, Who Loses.